And welcome to Hannity. And we begin tonight with the Fox News alert. Israel tonight is at war, a fight for its very survival after a barbaric terrorist attack, an invasion by Hamas, the deadliest attack in that country's history.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
And you heard in that video as women and children are being taken hostage. Allahu Akbar. Now, in just a minute, we're going to take you live to the ground where our very own Trey Yangst is standing by in southern Israel tonight. We're also monitoring the situation in northern Israel, where Hezbollah has directed a barrage of rockets into Israel. We'll also have a close eye on Gaza, the Hamas stronghold that is now smoldering after a massive bombing campaign by Israel, and it's only the beginning. We are told that a full-scale ground invasion with well over 100,000 troops, possibly as many as 300,000, is now imminent. Israel is fighting back against what is a savage enemy that wants to wipe them off the planet. Over the weekend, Hamas terrorists, they stormed southern Israel. They did it by air, land, and sea. They paraglided into a music festival where they slaughtered at least 260 young, unarmed concert goers, including one 30-year-old woman whose naked body was paraded around by Hamas terrorists while they were filming and cheering and chanting, once again, Allahu Akbar. Quote, interpretation, God is great. Other civilians, including children, they were bound, they were beaten, they were taken as hostages. In this video, a young woman is covered in blood, thrown into the back of a Jeep by several terrorists. Yeah, more chants of Allahu Akbar. And other Hamas terrorists went door to door in local towns, taking hostages, murdering entire families, shooting family pets, setting homes on fire. And in one hometown, by the way, in one home, to just over 1,000 people. That's over 100 dead bodies were just recovered. There are also reports that Hamas filming some of the more gruesome murders with the victims' own phones and then uploading that footage to the victims' social media platforms for all of their family and friends to see. Pretty evil. One such video purportedly showing Hamas shooting a little girl in front of her parents and then taking the rest of the family hostage. And also breaking today, Hamas is now openly threatening to execute hostages on camera, and that would include American citizens that are hostage, including the 9 that we have confirmed that are dead, Americans dead, as a result of this attack. The Rolling Stone magazine is now reporting tonight that dozens of Americans are now being held in Gaza by terrorists. And so far, well, actually, that figure has gone to 11 Americans among the 1,100 men, women, and children murdered by Hamas during the initial attack. And tonight, Israel doesn't just have the right to fight back. They have an obligation to eliminate every single member of Hamas and obliterate them. You want to look at this proportionally? Well, more people were killed in this full-scale terrorist invasion than during 9/11. Many have been saying this is Israel's 9/11. But if you look at the amount of people who live in Israel, this would be similar to killing more than 35,000 Americans in one day. On 9/11/01, 2,977 Americans were slaughtered that day, many thereafter with 9/11-related illnesses. But you do know what the Biden administration, you know what their first instinct was? To tell Israel, oh, please stand down. Just accept your fate. Look at this now deleted tweet from the weekend. Quote, we urge all sides to refrain from violence and retaliatory attacks. Terror and violence solve nothing. All sides? Excuse me? Retaliatory attacks? Oh, you can't bite back? All right, did Hamas write that tweet? Or do the people that work in the Biden White House, are they really just that stupid? If anyone ever killed the equivalent of 35,000 plus Americans, you don't think you would want your government to strike back with a fierce a fierce intensity, the likes of which nobody's ever seen before? Because I know that would be my reaction. And today, your so-called president, he was nowhere to be found. He seemingly just took the day off. White House, they called a lid. That means you will not be hearing from the president again for the rest of the day. At about noon today, if you want to be exact, 11:51 a.m. Biden then attempted to shamelessly capitalize on these attacks. Oh, guess what we got about an hour ago? A news dump, releasing a statement confirming that Joe Biden has been questioned by the special counsel over his mishandling of classified documents. How convenient to do it when we're on the verge of an all-out war. Israel is now at war with Hamas and all their related organizations. And get this, Biden actually hosted a big party and a barbecue with a live band. American citizens, they're being tortured, they're being murdered in Gaza, and our greatest ally in the Middle East reels from an unprecedented terrorist attack, and Joe Biden's having a cookout. Pretty sick, but it gets worse. In 2021, Joe Biden sent nearly $400 million U.S. tax dollars to the Palestinian Authority, despite concerns from officials that money would boost Hamas and result in more terror attacks. Well, more recently, Biden gifted Iran. Remember that special deal, the $6 billion that they took out of what was a South Korean bank and moved it into a Qatar bank after asking the Muellers to pinky promise that they would only spend it on humanitarian projects, even though the president of Iran roundly rejected that publicly on NBC. Apparently, no one in the Biden administration, not our dumb president or vice president or secretary of state, seemed to realize money is fungible. What does that mean? In other words, OK, you take money that they would otherwise have to spend themselves, and that frees them up to continue to be the world's #1 state sponsor of terrorism. So it is no surprise that Iran spent weeks helping Hamas plan, orchestrate this massive attack, according to a report this weekend in the Wall Street Journal. That's right, including the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. Now, of course, Iran, we know they're the #1 state sponsor of terror, and we know they've always funded Hamas and Hezbollah. Doesn't matter, Shia, Sunni, they don't care as long as they go after Israel and several other terrorist groups in the Middle East. But for some reason, Democrats are obsessed with giving them money and eliminating sanctions. And now we see the results. We see death, suffering, chaos. And your so-called president, well, he checked out before noon today. And meanwhile, Israeli President or Prime Minister Netanyahu, probably the only leader on the world stage today that has the moral clarity that's needed for just a moment like this. Tonight, he is vowing to protect the world's only Jewish state from these barbaric terrorists who want to push Israel into the sea. Take a look.
Israel is at war. We didn't want this war. It was forced upon us in the most brutal and savage way. But though Israel didn't start this war, Israel will finish it. Hamas will understand that by attacking us, they've made a mistake of historic proportions. We will exact a price that will be remembered by them and Israel's other enemies for decades to come. The savage attacks that Hamas perpetrated against innocent Israelis are mind-boggling, slaughtering families in their homes, massacring hundreds of young people at an outdoor festival, kidnapping scores of women, children, and elderly, even Holocaust survivors. Hamas terrorists bound, burned, and executed children. They are savages. Hamas is ISIS. And just as the forces of civilizations united to defeat ISIS, the forces of civilization must support Israel in defeating Hamas.
Prime Minister Netanyahu, he knows what must be done. Israel will now wage a full-scale war against Hamas, and make no mistake about this, he will win that war. There is no other choice. This is a fight for Israel's survival. And in just the past few minutes, by the way, we have seen explosions now in Gaza City, a little after 4 a.m. their time.
Democrat, it's none of your business. Look at this dude. Grab the rail. Man, it's dangerous. You see all that damn cement right there in the steps? That dude is so lost. Hey, this dude know good and well he been falling everywhere he's going.
Yeah, I would walk to the rail and guide my way down.
Yeah, if you would have fell, this is what you would have did. You would have stuck your hands out to brace the fall, your hands would have shattered.
He'd have broke all this.
All this to be smashed
All that
up.
been shattered.
When
When
you-
it wouldn't have broke, it would have been shattered like glass.
Your hands would be like this, and then your face would have hit the ground. All this would be busted up.
that jaw is shattered. All that's broken.
You gonna land on one side, your damn hip is busted. Big good thing you didn't fall and hit that damn
Yeah,
cement.
because he shattered in both them hands, them wrists, that side of that face, and that hip is gone. That hip is gone. They can't put you back together. You're going to be like Humpty Dumpty. Remember that nursery rhyme, Humpty Dumpty fell and couldn't put them back together?
Shut up.
You remember that, don't you?
Yeah, I remember. Let's go to the next Democrat. Damn federal.
Simple reason. We're here for one simple
Goonies.
reason. President Biden needs to consider using the 14th Amendment if necessary. The entire GOP debt ceiling negotiation is a sad charade.
Yeah.
And that's
Charade.
exactly what's wrong in Washington. We're playing with the livelihoods of millions just so the GOP can just turn the screws against hungry Americans.
Yeah, what?
This dude is so unwell, he can't even wear a suit like everybody else.
It's the Republicans' fault, huh? Everything's the Republicans' fault. Have you caught on that? Have y'all caught on that? Everything that's wrong in America is the Republicans' fault.
This would be a great country if it went for them damn Republicans.
If we could just vote these damn Republicans out of office, this would be a utopia. Man, wish people show up and vote and get rid of these people.
But this happens every year, this whole debt ceiling.
Yeah.
Because the government keeps spending all this money that we don't got.
Yeah.
And now we're at a stalemate over this.
At a stalemate.
We're at an impasse
Yeah,
because
at a deadlock.
because Democrats trying to stuff all this stuff in there, spend some more money. Hey, I just found out they sent another $135 million to Ukraine.
Hey, how you
Or was
live?
it billion?
It's million.
I
Can't be
think it
billion.
was-
It was millions, like 300 million.
Something like that.
Don't worry about it. Keep at a Biden moment.
Hey man, if y'all just go, okay, so the government's been just printing all this money, right? Why we got to pay taxes? Won't you just print?
Yeah.
That's what
Won't
you
you
do.
help out the real Americans? Stop.
Because we don't have that money. The money sent to Ukraine, they just print.
Yeah. Yeah. So we won't have to pay taxes no more,
So
man.
stop-
Y'all just stop taxing us, man. Y'all just print that money. I'm telling you, Americans will really value that, man, if y'all did that, man. If y'all just stop taxing us and just print this stuff.
That's even worse.
Yeah? How's that worse?
Inflation.
Well, got to pick your poison.
Hey, I'm gonna see you this.
Hey, how you Negroes feel, man? They spending all this money on Ukraine, them white people, instead of giving y'all reparations, man. How y'all feel about that, Negro?
They put up this image of Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Look, good news. Inflation at its lowest rate in almost 2 years. Yeah, inflation started right when you went in office, and it's come down, but it's still high as hell.
Yeah, it's 5%, ain't it? That's high.
Yeah,
Why is he bragging about it?
because he know his constituents are brain dead.
Man.
I mean, think about it. Feinstein's in office. Fetterman is in office.
Yeah, he got voted in office by 81 million people. There's a lot of dumb Americans in this country. He's actually bragging about inflation. He's twisting it. He's gaslighting y'all. He's not going to tell you, man, inflation is down, but, man, it's still over 5%. He's gaslighting. He's twisting your perception to gain an advantage.
Then you got-
That's diabolical. That's corrupt. That's evil.
And then you got this assistant press secretary. What's her name? Rachel Levine?
That's the transgender, right?
Yeah, the transgender
The
saying
lady boy.
she's the assistant health press secretary or something like that. She says it's affirming care for kids to get that breast chopped off, mushroom tips chopped off, and take drugs and castration drugs and stop puberty. She thinks it's perfectly fine. Go and bring a picture back up.
Yeah, man. That little Dorothy action she had going on,
No,
man.
I want the old picture. Yeah,
No,
fine.
not the Goonies looking dude. I don't need to see that Sasquatch.
Well, I like that picture. That's a
Yeah, I
nice
like that picture. That picture turned me on, man.
picture. Let's look at today. Scan in on it.
Let me get into that face action. Yeah, she just needs some Visine. That'll clear all that up.
Man, you crazy as hell. What you gonna do about the eye that's closed?
Some Visine and a facial. And a nice massage.
Hey.
She'll loosen up.
Bring it back up.
That's stress right there. That's
And
muscle
then scan
tightness.
up to the dude at the top. That dude look crazy too. Look at him.
You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Gargamel on the Smurfs. Like he hunting for little Smurfs and shit. Like he got.
That was a damn good show.
Like he got a cat named Azrael.
He probably do got a cat named
Azrael! Azrael! Hey, if you want to watch more Horse Twins, I got videos up here and down here. Don't forget, we're giving away a truck. It's a 2020 Chevy High Country. It's got the Duramax transmission in there. Tell them about the HD stuff.
It comes in HD. It's got it right there on the side of the truck.
Yeah, truck's
got
in
the
HD.
big tires and wheels.
Yep.
Man, this is a man's truck.
Don't forget, you also win $10,000 in cash to pay the taxes for that truck.
Yeah.